What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. We have the 3rd generation Tundra pulled into the shop, and in this video we're going to be installing the Yota Xpedition carbon fiber steering wheel. Let's get into it. So right here on the table we have the options for our carbon fiber steering wheels from Yota Xpedition. So we have some for you if you have a Tundra that came with a non-heated steering wheel, and then we also have options if your Tundra came with a factory heated steering wheel. We do not have a kit to convert your non-heated Tundra to a heated steering wheel Tundra. Now when it comes to the finishes that we have the plain carbon fiber steering wheel, or you can get the carbon with the tricolor ring at the top. So if you have a Tundra that came with a non-heated steering wheel, the aftermarket one that we offer here at Yota Xpedition is going to be a direct replacement. All of your factory components are going to swap right over to this, and it's going to mount fairly easily. Over here with the heated steering wheel, same thing. This is going to be plug and play with all your factory stuff. All your other things on your steering wheel are going to swap over to this, and it's going to be a pretty simple install. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, first things first, since we are messing with the airbag, we are going to disconnect the battery. So we're going to pop the hood, disconnect a terminal. If you have a hybrid Tundra, your battery is going to be in the back seat. Pull that off. So the first thing we're going to do is remove these 2 screws, and there's a plastic panel on the bottom side of the steering wheel. We're going to remove that. We're going to use a trim prying tool or a small flathead screwdriver to help get that panel off. So you can see the 2 holes where the screws are that we're removing, and then there is also 2 little notches on the other end of it where you can see where a screwdriver will go into, or your trim prying tool, so we can get that off. So now that we got that bottom panel removed comes the tricky part. We're going to be using a small flathead screwdriver, and on either side of the steering wheel there's a tiny hole, and we are going to put the screwdriver in that hole, and we are going to look up through the bottom of the steering wheel, and you're going to see a little tiny metal pin essentially, and if you push on that with the steering wheel, it will pop the airbag out. So you're going to have one on this side, you're going to have one on this side, and there's also going to be one on the bottom. Once I get this out, I can show you exactly what I'm talking about on the aftermarket steering wheel, which is going to be easier to see what's going on. I think I got that one. Yeah, I got that one. As you can see, I'm in a great position here to get this done. It's just hard to see what's going on. So I got this one out, and I got the bottom one out. Now I'm working on the one closest to the driver's side. Now that I have both of those out, I might be able to move this and be able to see a little bit better. All right, so I got the screwdriver in this hole on the side, and I have the airbag propped up a little bit, and I have a flashlight in here so I can see what's going on. And there we go. So now that we have those 3 out, as you can see, this, and this, they go into these holes, and there is metal rods that hold that in place. So your goal essentially is to move this metal rod to the side, which will free up this clip, and you have to do that on all 3 positions. A little tricky. So again, I have the screwdriver in the side hole, and you can see, well, maybe you can't, but if I position the screwdriver just right, I can push on that metal rod, which is holding the airbag in. So you want to come over to this side, do that, and pull the airbag out. Again, on this side, do the same thing, and on the bottom. So now we need to disconnect the wires from the back of the airbag. So with our small flathead screwdriver, we're going to pop up the safety clip like that, and then you could pull the plug off the back of the airbag. And we have a clip here holding the wires on. We need to get that off. There's just a small little thing here that you can push up. Pull that off. And you also have this tiny little connector here. That's for your horn. and that just pulls off. All right, now we need to remove this plug here because it's connected to the clock spring. So just push in that little tab, pull that out. Now we need to remove the bolt that holds the steering wheel on. So we're gonna be using a 10mm Allen socket for that. So we'll go ahead and break this loose. The steering wheel is probably going to turn. Just try to get it back to center. You wanna make sure that steering wheel is exactly in the same position when you take the steering wheel off and put the new one on so that it's not off. Take this bolt out. Now you can just easily pull off the steering wheel and feed your wiring through. And once you have this off, make sure not to mess with this. This can rotate around. You don't want to mess with it. There is connections and stuff inside there. If you were to spin this around, it could break and then none of your features are going to work on your steering wheel. So just leave it as it is. We can take this over to our workbench now and start swapping everything over. So with the factory steering wheel on the workbench, we're going to take a Phillips head screwdriver. We have 2 screws here that are visible. We're going to go ahead and remove both of those. With those 2 screws removed, we can now grab the controls. You can pull that straight out from the steering wheel. Takes a little bit of force, but not too much. And we have a plug here. Go ahead and unplug that, and you can remove this whole system. With that removed, it now exposes these other 2 Phillips head screws. So we're going to remove those as well. And that is going to be for the trim that is on the steering wheel. So once you have those 2 screws out, you can go ahead and pull this out as well. Be very gentle. If you want, you can use a trim prying tool in here. That's probably what I'm going to do as well. There we go. Go ahead and take this side out as well. We have this plug down here. We're going to remove that. That's the heating component for the factory steering wheel. And now we need to get off this whole black cover here from the structure of the steering wheel. So there's a couple of clips holding this on. We're going to go ahead and pop these out. So you have a clip here and one on the other side as well, holding this on. Pop that out. Pop that out. And it looks like we need to unplug this as well. So with that plastic cover off, you now have access to this Phillips head screw. We're going to remove this. All right, so we have everything removed from our factory steering wheel. We're gonna grab the aftermarket one from Yota Xpedition, get that on the table, and we're gonna start putting this stuff on in reverse order. So we have this, and place that on there. Get our screw reinstalled for that. Take this piece, get that snapped back in place. Now we can plug this back in. And we can put the plug for our new heated steering wheel back into here, like that. Next up, we can take our side trim pieces, and we can get those in place. Gently push those in and get the screws installed for those. Make sure they're pushed in nice and good so you don't have any gaps. And then right here, you can see you have little clips that go onto that piece that we just installed. So make sure that that is clipped in place as well. Now we can put these 2 screws back in, holding those. So the last thing is just to get this reinstalled. So just line that up, push it down, put the 2 screws back in for that as well. Last thing, plug the switch in, or the clip in for your controls there. And now we can take this back to the Tundra. Back in the Tundra, we have the new wheel. We are going to feed the wires to the top for the airbag and the horn. And then this wire is gonna come through here. Try to keep the clock spring where it was, and then position the steering wheel where you took it off. Now we can go ahead, plug this in, and we can go and get our bolt back in for the steering wheel. I gotta look up the torque spec for this. So we have our torque wrench, and we're going to tighten this to 46 foot-pounds. Okay, so we have the steering wheel bolted in place. Now we're just going to take our harness. We're gonna get this reattached to our airbag. So we have this little clip that goes on there. Holds the harness in place. We got this for the horn. That's gonna get slid on there. And then you have your connections for the airbag. So black on black. Don't screw that up. And now putting the airbag on is a lot easier than taking it off. So all you need to do is line it up, snap it in place, make sure all 3 are in, and we're good to go. Don't forget to put your bottom panel back in, snap that in place, get those 2 screws in there as well. And then we need to go under the hood and hook up our battery. There we go. Got that back in. Go ahead and put that back on. Tighten our terminal down, and we can go ahead and test the steering wheel, make sure everything's working as it should, and then we are finished. All right, guys, that is a wrap for the Yota Xpedition carbon fiber steering wheel on the 3rd generation Tundra. Hopefully this video was helpful. If it was, make sure to hit the like button. Comment down below if you have any questions about the install or the product. If you want to grab this for your Tundra, make sure to head over to yotaxpedition.com. Our link is down in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.